everybody, it's Nadia, and in today's video we are going to DIY some pillowcases. So, you know those two scenarios when you're in a store and you see a super good pillowcase, you look at it and you're like, oh my god, I totally need this one, it's matching perfectly to what I need. You go look at the price tag and it's like 20 bucks. Yeah, those moments. Exactly. And you're just thinking, hell no, that's not happening. Or a second scenario, you're looking for a specific pillowcase, but you cannot find it anywhere. Let me tell you, it is super easy to do it on your own, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to actually do it. I will show you that it's super freaking easy to create your own pillowcase, and you don't need too many things, okay? So what you're probably going to need is a pillow. Then, obviously, a fabric. I have here this beautiful gray fabric, so as you can see all around the room, my main colors are mostly like grayish and like light pink, white, so that's what's gonna fit into my room. And you're going to need a zipper. Okay, buy a zipper accordingly to how big is your pillow. My pillow is 45 centimeters by 45, so I have a 45 centimeter zipper. If you have smaller one, buy a smaller zipper. If you have bigger one, buy a bigger zipper. Easy as that. So that's pretty much it, what we're going to need. There's actually not that many things. Then you'll obviously also need a sewing machine. You can do it even without the sewing machine, but it will make everything a lot easier if you have one and you don't have to hand stitch everything. But for sure you can manage also without one. I have one, so I'm going to use it. And now we can get on to the video and I'll show you how to actually do those covers. Yeah, so let's just get into it and show you how to get it all done. Yay! What we're going to do is we'll measure out a piece that is 50 by 50 centimeters. That will be for the back panel. For the front panel, we'll need 120 centimeters, but if you want to do a pillowcase that is without the ruching, you just do 50 by 50. So we'll take 1 centimeter as a seam allowance. So we'll do that, and that's that. And then we are just going to do 5 centimeters for the folds. So let's get going. And you're just gonna have to mark the whole thing on both sides. So both on the left side and the right side. Fabric has pretty rough edges, as you can see. We're going to take care of that on the sewing machine and make a zigzag stitch all over the fabric so then it's not like tearing apart. Here you can nicely see how I started to sew, thinking I could do this on this angle, and then I realized that this is not going to work. The table was too low and I was just sitting there, my back was hurting, so at some point I stood up and went to my desk. Okay, cool. So you just take the folds that you have the marks over here. You can count. So the third one, you'll take it and you'll take it to the second mark. So you have first, second, third. You'll take the third mark and you'll bring it to the first mark so that they're matching. And that's it. So you're just gonna pin it down. straighten up and we're ready to go. Almost to sew. It is good to iron it a bit so that it's straight and it's not making any funky business when you actually get to the sewing part, and then when it's on, that it's more like sturdy. So just go on it with an iron a bit, iron it down, and you'll see that it's coming together. I'd say we did a pretty darn good job in terms of this. I don't know to what extent it will be able to iron down because it's very dependent on this fabric because it's like very thick. So even that is like a bit. But it really depends a lot on what kind of fabric you're having. So if you have some thinner fabric, it will be a lot easier, and with the thicker one, it's obviously a bit tougher because it's thick. I don't think I can make it any better in my case. It's not going to be really. But I can then go through it and like iron it once more once it's actually sewn together. Now we are going to take it and sew down the sides so that they're holding together and that we can actually sew the whole thing together. Now we just need to make sure that we through the sides where the folds are, because then the folds would be falling apart and it would be too hard to manage. Let's go back to the sewing machine and get it finished. In this sewing down part, just make sure that you're holding it properly. Go rather slower than faster to make sure that you have it nice and neat. It's not worth it to go super quickly and then have to go back and redo everything. So hold it, go nice and slow, and you should be fine to go. As you can see, I've done the stitching over here to just make it nice and neat. You only need to do it on this side where there's going to be the zipper so that the zipper looks nicely on the outside. But otherwise on the other parts of the pillow you don't need to do it because it's not necessary. Nobody's gonna care that it's going to be weirdish inside of the pillow, like whatever. But for the outside part, it's a good thing to do that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to stitch on the zipper. So you take it, it's good to measure it out where exactly it should be going. So from the outside, we have the excess for the seam allowance. So it's been like 5 centimeters extra. So we're going to take 2.5 on each side and it's going to be cool. Okay, good. And here it is 40.5. Just so that I know I have a marking. And then we're just going to stuck it on there, and we're gonna be good to go. Once we're done with the pinning, all we need to do is go back to the sewing machine, sew it down. And in this case, you should or could use the zipper foot. I have not that much knowledge in terms of how to put the zipper foot on, and I'm too lazy to figure it out, so I just sew around the edge. You can manage even without zipper foot, just like put it on there. Just make sure not to go with the zipper under the needle and you should be fine. We have the zipper on. Now all we're going to do is we're going to stitch it through on the sides and sew down the sides. We'll just like stitch it through that we have it ready and set to go to sew. back at it again with the sewing machine. Again, now we're just going to sew down the sides, the left side and the right side. Make sure to go slow, don't rush anywhere. It's better to do it slower than quicker. It's gonna be nicer, I can promise you that. At this point, it should be a lot easier to sew down because you already have the ruching sewn down. Now we have it stitched together. Make sure to open up a bit in the zipper so that you can then open it up once it's done. And now we just finish this side and close it up, and then we have a pillowcase, people. Yeah. Now it's the last and final round of the visit of the sewing machine. We finally sew it closed and we should be finished. And now the grand reveal is that we flip it over, right? So remember the hole that we left in there? Very useful. And we're just gonna turn it all around. It's like even a surprise for me, okay? I haven't really thought this through. So it is as a surprise for me as it is for you. And guys, there we go. The finished product. But you know what the actual test is? Is how it's going to look on a pillow. So, and the final reveal is here. Let's take a look at it and we'll see. So, I have my pillow. I have my case. And we have the ruched pillowcase. Look at that. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? Guys, I'd say not bad, not too shabby. It took a while, yes, I'm going to admit. I myself was expecting for this to take a bit less time, but it is what it is. I'd say it was totally worth the time. It's looking super cute. I'd say that we did a pretty darn good job. So make sure to try it out for yourself. Sure, it's a fun activity to do, especially during the quarantine times where there's not too much to do, so why not spend it on a DIY project for something that could make your room look fancy and nice. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then I'll be more than glad if you smash the like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe down below, and I'm looking forward to see you next week. Bye!